Live from the pitch pad in New York City. Get ready to unleash your inner entrepreneur with Pitch Live with Amy Summers. Whether you're a seasoned entrepreneur or just dipping your toes into the Shark Tank, this is the place to be to discover how to turn your pitch into reality. Fasten your seatbelts, pitch stars, because the spotlight is on you and we are about to make success happen. Get ready for Pitch Live in 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Pitch Live. I'm your host, Amy Summers, founder and president of Pitch Publicity and Vox. I'm also a hardworking entrepreneur who is passionate about helping you reach success in any area of your life. And I know that is possible after decades of experience in perfecting the pitch and enhancing communication skills, which is why I'm here today and joined by Anthony Zolezzi, who is a legit serial entrepreneur. And you are about to find out why. Anthony has also been my mentor for the majority of my career, playing a pivotal role in my success at Pitch Publicity. He was one of my first clients and has been a strong champion of my work, sending me many clients throughout the years. So I'm super excited to have him on. Together, we've collaborated on numerous successful projects, including the Organic Center, Vitamin Angels, Pet Promise Natural Pet Food, and more recently, Twin Lab. He is a master networker, entrepreneur. I've never seen anyone else like Anthony. That's why I was so excited to bring him on. He has had significant success creating Bubba Gump Shrimp Company, introducing Horizon Organic Milk to Starbucks, launching Uber Fresh Pilot in Santa Monica, which evolved to Uber Eats, and partnering with the now King Charles, formerly Prince Charles, when Anthony worked with him on his book and documentary Harmony, focused on environmental sustainability. Throughout his career, Anthony has been driven by a central theme, addressing climate change as a significant threat to the environment and global health, and committing to implementing sustainable initiatives worldwide. Now he serves as executive vice chairman of the parent Dalrada Financial Corporation and president of the Dalrada Home. And we are going to hear more about this exciting work and that organization later. But welcome, Anthony.
Thank you, Amy. It's great to be here. And you know I'm one of your biggest fans, so I'm very excited to be on with you.
I'm really excited to have you on. There's a mantra I've had throughout my career called MSH, which on the podcast we'll just say what it really is, which is make shit happen. And to me, you are like my mentor and make shit happen. I learned so much of that from you. So I can't wait to dive right in and share about your success. But first I wanted to start out with, because people may not know what a serial entrepreneur is. Can you tell me what defines a serial entrepreneur and when did you recognize yourself as one? Because I remember when we were working together, you started calling yourself that.
Yeah, I must have been cocky at that time because I don't really think I'm a serial entrepreneur. I really don't know what a serial entrepreneur is. But I think there are certain people that look at the world a little differently. And I think, thank God, we all have that. And we all look at the world differently. And I think it just takes, I call it alignment when, your persona, your thought process, who you are, lines up with what your calling is or what your purpose is. And I can tell you that every business that I've created, it was out of alignment. Not because I was a serial entrepreneur. It was just that my purpose, my passion, lined up with that cause. And I must have had some type of God-given, strength to be able to do that, or talent to be able to do that. And so, Amy, it's interesting you asked that because, today at the end of my career, I feel like the most important thing I can do, especially with young people, is look for those talents and coach them to find alignment. Because when you do find alignment in your talent and your purpose, you can do huge things. And scale and scope is how you define it. But I tell people, once they have their purpose and passion, They that purpose and passion is their secret superpower, if you will. And you take that purpose and passion and line it up, get in alignment with some type of cause or issue, whether it's climate change, whether it's health and wellness, whatever it might be, that alignment is magic.
And I'm glad you brought that up because since I've always known you, which I've known you since my mid-20s, I've seen that in you. I know that you mentioned briefly as a God-given talent, but I've always seen that in you, that you have just been wired in a certain way that you see a bigger picture that maybe other people can't see. But what you're really good at is you're really good at seeing it and having the vision for it and rallying people around you to make that vision happen. And I think that is, a special feature that you have as an entrepreneur. Can you just walk us through the process of when those ideas come to you? What is typically your next step?
Yeah, so it's really interesting, Amy. Almost all the ideas come to me during a stressful or challenging situation. It's never, I tell people, it's never inspiration. It's always desperation. And it's like it seems like I get to the end of my path trying to fix something or trying to get around a cause or rallying people to change something. It could be an organic standard, it could be anything, but it takes that back to the alignment. It takes that alignment. It takes that aha moment. But I think the difference between people that make this and what makes shit happen and the people that don't is they act. Mm-hmm. And I think the thing I've been blessed with is, if I see that alignment, and when I was watching the movie Forrest Gump and they were on the floor and Bubba was doing chili shrimp and Cajun shrimp, I just stood up in the theater and I said, that's it. But I said, now what do I do? So just the next morning, that was a Sunday afternoon. The next morning, I went straight to Paramount. I got with the guard and I said, I got to see somebody about the movie Forrest Gump and the rights to the Bubba Gump Shrimp Company. And I sat there till 6:30 p.m., only taking bio breaks and making sure the guard knew that I wasn't too far when someone would see me. But I stayed there. And that was the very next day after I saw the movie. You don't hesitate. You just go. And, the one thing I see is, the most powerful tool I've had in my career is just showing up and showing up with a smile. I can tell you from the recycling business, we just, Paul and I, my partner, we flew to Houston and we wanted to meet with the president of Waste Management. And we did. He couldn't see us right away. He saw us in the afternoon, but we did. And, the whole Greenopolis, which, you're familiar with, the Dream Machine and the PepsiCo recycling business kind of stemmed from that very meeting. But, Pet Promise was the same way. We didn't have the money or the equipment, so we went to St. Louis to meet with Nestle. And we showed them what we got.
A couple of things that you say, I just want to make sure that we really focus on is I love how you say that these ideas are not coming at a point of inspiration. Because I think a lot of people are like waiting to be inspired, or we think that that's how it happens, but it's really coming out of, a difficult time or desperation, as you say. But I want to go back to the Bubba Gump Shrimp because there might be some people that didn't understand what we were just talking about. And it was such a good story. So Bubba Gump Shrimp Company, people probably know that because they've seen the restaurants. Sure. And if you are a Gen Z, you're going to have to really Google this and look up the Forrest Gump movie. It's classic. You need to watch it. Everyone needs to watch it. But Anthony was watching this movie. I want you to take us back to the shrimp scene. What was connecting and firing in your brain? Because you were working with shrimpers. Can you explain what connected where you're like, okay, I'm going to take this movie and make it into a restaurant?
Yeah. So I was hired by a company called Meridian Products to see if I could restructure. So I was doing a lot of restructuring, crisis management, that type of thing. Their sales were just falling. It was like, we call it a falling knife. It's not something you want to grab. You want to stay away from it. But obviously, I got into it. I thought I could fix this company. And the truth is, I was 9 months into it, and I reported to a group of bankers, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Rabobank was big in it. And I was going in on that Monday to tell them I couldn't turn it, that they needed to probably just liquidate and take whatever they could out of it. And so I went to the movie on Sunday, and I was resigning the following Monday. I just couldn't turn this company around.
Can we pause right there for a second? Because you just made me remember something. I remember you telling me a long time ago that you would go to movies when you were stressed out about things. Was that one of these moments where you had to?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, I used to, when I was really stressed during, especially turnaround situations, when you have to eliminate a lot of people, it's just a very stressful time. And I'd take off and go to 2 or 3 o'clock movies. I knew where they were, and I did that all the time. And this was one of the times too. But it was a Sunday afternoon. I was with my wife, and we were making an afternoon of it. But when I saw that scene, I don't know why, I'll never forget it. But they were scrubbing the floor, and Bubba was telling Forrest that you could make chili shrimp, you could make this type of shrimp, and I knew that was it. It just came to me. That's it. You need to do that. And so what we actually did is I went back to Meridian Products. They had a huge bullpen. We stacked up pallets. I got on top of them, and I said, "We are the Bubba Gump Shrimp Company as of right now. Within 5 weeks, I want all the packaged product in all the retail stores around the country to be Bubba Gump." And everyone rallied. Everyone made it happen. And the positive part of that story is ConAgra came and bought Meridian, and everyone made out, including myself. But
so did you have to go to Paramount first and get permission, or did you just announce this and then go to Paramount?
No, I had to go to Paramount first. So, and when I got to Paramount, like I said, I got there at 8:30, 6:30, they saw me. And the woman's name was Debbie Petrasek. I'll never forget her as long as I live. She said, "You want what?" And I said, "I want the license for the movie Forrest Gump, the Bubba Gump Shrimp Company." And she said, "We don't have any licenses. We don't think the movie's going to do that well." And I said, "What?" I said, "Then can I get the license for shrimp?" She said, "Oh, yeah." I said, "Can I get chocolates?" She said, "Oh, yeah." I started going right down. Can I get the hats? Can I get the teas? So I started going down the whole list, and she said, "Yes." And I said, "How much?" She said, $25,000.
Oh,
I said, "I'll be here tomorrow with the check." And then I was walking out, and I said, "How about international rights?" She said, "No problem. Another 25." I said, I'll bring 50,000 tomorrow.
Did you have a meeting with her? Did you have an official meeting with her, or were you just camped out on their doorstep?
No, I just stayed there till someone saw me. And Debbie, and we never sat down anywhere. She saw me in the hallway. This was all done in the hallway. I'll never forget her.
Do you think this method would work in today's environment of remote and hybrid, or if it was happening today, what would you have done?
Oh, I'd do the same thing. Yeah, I can't. Look, in-person meetings. There's no way you can substitute it. I would wait for people. I've sat in. I mean, at Publix, I had containers of a product that I had to sell to Publix, and the only way I did it was I went and sat in the lobby for 2 days till someone saw me. And then when someone saw me, I went in their office, and it said persistent, persistence, something behind the guy. And I said, "Oh, I got him sold. No problem." And so I think just showing up with a smile, showing up happy with a smile, getting to know people in the lobby, it's important today. And I believe that I tell this to entrepreneurs: the higher up in the organization, the more likely they'll see you. So don't shoot low. Shoot for the CEO. Shoot for the top guy in the company and meet with them.
Why is that? Why is it the higher up? Because you would think that would not be. You'd think that would be counterintuitive. Like the higher up they are, the less accessible.
Well, remember, there's such a thing called a corporate antibody, and the corporate antibody is the ones that want to include, everything's about we thought of that. They don't want someone like myself or you, Amy, or anybody else bringing a new idea to their boss. They want to be the one to bring the idea. So they don't want you to succeed, quite frankly. And that's not total. That's just my experience.
Mhm.
So my experience is the higher level you get to, the more action. I mean, I can rest assured that Horizon Organic Milk would not be in Starbucks 20 years later if it wasn't for Howard Schultz. And I tell Howard Schultz whenever I see him at conferences and that type of thing, I tell him the organic food industry owes him a lot of gratitude, because if the leading national brand of organic would have failed, and it would have failed without Starbucks, that would have been a really difficult thing for the whole industry to survive.
So showing up, getting in person, that in-person time, you say it's important. I did this recently with a client. We decided to meet in person. I flew to meet her. The whole consult I had with her was totally different than it would have been on Zoom, because we both said it. It was our energy together. Do you feel that too? Do you feel like a personal energy?
Well, you got to walk around the Dalrada office. It's the energy's buzzing all the time, because our CEO is just an incredible individual. I mean, at this stage of my career too, Amy, I found a mentor. I mean, I'm actually being mentored by the CEO of this company, which is just incredible. I even get chills just thinking about how blessed I am to have that. But the one thing, he does is every one of his meetings, and he's hilarious. He loves to laugh. He's just fun. And, personal meetings are the only way he operates. And that's really my strength. I don't think I mean, I did Zooms, and we started that company during COVID because I just wanted to do something. But man, I couldn't take it. We had 18, 19, 20 people on these Zooms, and the worst part of it is you don't really get to know them. I was just doing a once a week call. Yeah, I'm not big on that. I think for any entrepreneur that's listening or watching this, man, get in front of the people, and I don't care who that is, and get a good
It's
team.
more unusual now, like since people aren't doing it as much. That's why I even talk about with pitching, like calling up and calling somebody, because people aren't calling anymore. When you're doing something that a lot of people aren't doing, then you're going to stand out even more.
I think so. I just did a talk at one of the local high schools here, and two people afterwards just cracked up. They said, "I can't believe you went in person." And you don't think about that, but it's kind of unusual today. But I think most of the business on a global scale is done face to face today.
Well, I want to talk about the company you're working with now, Dalrada. And you also mentioned having a mentor at this stage of the game, which I think is really interesting. And obviously, you're a mentor of mine. Can you tell me a little bit about the work you're doing now, and how does that align with what we talked about at the beginning, which is you've had this central theme of climate change throughout your whole career? Why are you here, and what are you doing now?
Yeah, that's yeah. I can't believe I took a full-time job, Amy. I'm here full time and loving every minute of it.
It's
And
so unlike you.
yeah, I know.
No
Uh,
longer the serial entrepreneur. That's such a harsh word anyway.
but I've got the entrepreneur of all entrepreneurs as my mentor and CEO of this company. So, he's never seen a business he didn't like, and so he's just a lot of fun, and I'm learning a lot. I mean,
So what happened? What I mean, you've done your whole career by yourself, making all these companies, building all these companies, connecting all these people, and now this stage, you've decided to come work with this company. What was it about it that really drew you in?
Yeah, it was primarily the technology that they had purchased out of Scotland. It was a heat pump, but it was a CO2, supercritical CO2 driven heat pump that was 7 times more efficient. I mean, it's just an incredible piece of equipment for industrial uses. and it's moving all through Europe right now, primarily, and it's just they're just doing an incredible job. I actually never intended to work in the company. I just joined the board, and I thought being on the board of directors, I'd get close enough to it. Maybe I could help out with my contacts, that type of thing. But I just I started really enjoying the CEO and chairman of the board to the point where it just happened over time. Pretty soon I was doing more and more, and one day he said, uh, would you come into the office if I gave you an office? I said, man, I haven't had an office in 20 years. And I said, but why not? Because I love the technology. The technology is something that is just fabulous. And, now I've gotten a little niche, and we've got a team here that's just fabulous to work with, that, we're taking that industrial model and we're seeing if we can, make it work for the home. And
How is he mentoring you? What have you learned from him as a mentee?
yeah, so here's this is the craziest part of it. It's not necessarily the business; it's his generosity. I mean, this is a generous man with people, all kinds of people. But I mean, he gives and gives and gives more than any businessman I've ever been involved with, and he's super smart. So he's just a very giving individual. His giving for his family. He treats all the employees as if they're part of his family, and he's just an incredible guy. But like I said, very very smart, and so that level of smart and generosity, I haven't seen that before. Usually, I see the very business smart in some of some of the stuff that I don't like too much. The greed and pride comes out of that component, mostly, not necessarily generosity, but this is generosity. And I've told him, I said, I said the real reason I'm here is because I'm learning from you.
I
And
think
then
that's
the other,
amazing because I do think that that is unusual. It does seem like in the business world, the more money you make, the more greedy you get or the more consumption oriented you are. I just had someone ask me last weekend if I made more money at Pitch, would I have a yacht and all these things? And I don't think that I would. And I'm kind of glad God has kept my business where it's at because I think that um, to be at that level and to still give so much is it's a hard thing for a lot of people to do. So I think that's amazing that you're learning generosity at this stage from him.
yeah, it's crazy. But I have to be honest, there is a little consumption too.
Yes.
Yes, we like red wine.
Okay. Well, there you go. We like
Yeah.
honesty. I want to just kind of as we're getting towards the end here, just because you're such a master networker, you talk about showing up, being there, but out of all the business professionals I know, and I'm sure that this company was attracted to you initially because of this, you are really a connector of people and you connect people all the time. It seems like you connect people without any expectations a lot of times, whereas I see other business people only connecting you if they're going to get a cut. How have you monetized your networking over the years and how could somebody do that? Like what would you tell them to get started on monetizing their connections?
Well, I can assure you, I've never monetized. And um, you know, there's a couple of us that started in the organic in the food industry, and we've been around a long time, and we have events that we still go to, and it's funny because all of us talk. We never ever thought to monetize our skills, whether it be in organic agriculture or even packaging or anything that we learned in biodynamic farming. We never did, and the reason that I network with a lot of people and give them people is because I don't have any expectations. But I do believe, and I come back to that alignment and talent, I do believe every single person on this planet has a superpower, an expertise, a talent that the world needs. we need everyone's superpower today. If we're going to change this world around, and I think we have to, we will, it's going to take everybody's superpower. So to me, the reason I'm so quick to network is I knew Amy 25 years ago, you had a superpower in that. And so I'm connecting you not for profit or not for nothing, but we need your superpower. The globe needs your superpower. And so, everybody has this talent, but, a lot of times we're scared to listen to ourselves. Your inner voice will tell you what that talent is, but we're scared to listen to it. So to me, my job now especially is to introduce people so they can, further find out what their actual superpower and talent is so that we can get it out in the world because we need it. And so I think there's just different phases in times in your life where you look at the world differently. And I'd be remiss if I didn't say this. I've been looking at all these mitigation issues for climate change. We've been looking at all kinds of different things from a health and wellness perspective here at Dalrada. But at the end of the day, and I think I've learned this from Brian, the CEO here as well, and from the team, I think the ultimate way we're going to change things, we're going to get to the right climate, we're going to get to the right health system, is by bringing back a simple virtue like respect. I think the world is just missing respect for each other, respect for all of us. And you mentioned profiting from, introductions. I don't believe in it. I think it takes the integrity out of it. So, and that's separate from an affiliate marketing program. I'm talking about genuine introductions. When you're looking out for the best interests of the people, you don't want to profit from that.
And I'm so glad that you made that point, because I believe that is a public relations things as well, that we don't need to profit off of every goodwill thing that we do. And especially in this day and age where it seems like that word monetization has to follow everything, social media, how are you monetizing? How are you monetizing everything? But I've watched you in your career. You have always graciously introduced people to each other. You have made things happen. You even wrote a book called Do Something. So you're very action oriented. And it seems to me, just sitting back and watching from my view, it always comes back to you, but in a different way. Do you feel that way too?
Oh, absolutely. I'm blessed. I mean, the team we have here, I just enjoy working with them. I mean, they're so cool. And I'm not saying that because there's one in here or two in here, but I mean it. I'm happy to come in the office, and I'm happy to walk around and say hello to everybody. It's a blessing, and I feel like I've been very lucky. I've been very blessed, and I just thank God every day for this existence, for meeting people like you, Amy, and the people I'm working with now. And so, yeah, I think for all of us, let's just get out and do things that are purpose filled, that we're passionate about. And I think there's nothing but good that will come out of it.
Well, graciousness, respect, these are all qualities that you've always possessed. And I've learned so much from you in the business world about it. And it's just such a joy to have you share that with our audience today as we're wrapping up. What is the best way for our Pitch Live community to connect with you? I know you have a great blog. You can sign up at anthonyzolezzi.com on your newsletter. But are there other ways, or there other pitches that you're looking for from people right now?
Well, I mean, look, right now in our climate technologies, we're electrifying the home. So we're looking for technologies that aren't readily available. So I would say, any of the listeners out there or the people that would watch this, if they have anything that would mitigate carbon or fit in our climate tech, yeah, bring it on. Let's pitch us. We're like I said, the chairman and CEO here is the ultimate entrepreneur. And as we look at electrifying the home, you might think that electric water heater is not a big deal. I'm telling you, it's a very difficult proposition to get a good electric water heater. electrifying the house is much more challenging than we thought. That's why I think Elon went from the roof to the car and missed everything else. But we're going to try and pick everything else up. So any of those technologies, love it. You can post my email. That's fine. Anthony Zolezzi at me.com is the best one to use for that.
And can they go to the website too at Dalrada?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's Dalrada climatetech.com.
Okay.
It's Dalrada.com is the parent company.
Mm-hmm.
And take a look around. And then Dalrada Home will be coming soon.
All right. Well, good. Anthony, thank you so much for joining us today. I know you have inspired so many people in your career journey, and you will continue to do so. And I want to encourage everyone to share this episode so we can get more people exposed and inspired by all the amazing things that Anthony is doing. And be sure to go to anthonyzolezzi.com and sign up for his newsletter, because he really has some good entrepreneurial insights to share on a regular basis. And he certainly has made an impact in my career. And thank you again, Anthony, for joining us.
Well, thank you, Amy. I think my head might be too big to walk out the door. That's what
happens when you're on a podcast with a publicist. You're going to feel good about yourself no matter what.
I do. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you for joining us on this episode of Pitch Live with Amy Summers. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and give us a rating or review. Your feedback helps us plan future episodes. I hope you were inspired today to get out there, pitch, advocate for yourself, show some respect, some generosity, like Anthony said, make success happen. As a bonus, join us at inicvox.com, where you can get motivated, hone your communication skills, and binge as much mentorship as you want whenever you need it. The link is going to be in the show notes, along with all of my social media handles and Anthony's contact information. So let's stay connected. And until next time, let's MSH.